past lectures, we have seen what is HCI, different principles of HCI, and activity in which you have to make a report to define the principles of HCIs and all the things. Here in this second section, what we are going to see is how we can plan uh, an interface so that it can meet the need of the user. So for planning our interface, like if we want to design a user interface, planning is very important. Without planning, we cannot design any interface. Now we will see different ways how we can make our plan. The first one is storyboard. What is storyboard? It is like a script that you write. Means we will use different visual characters just to convey our idea, what we want to create. Now, why planning and storyboarding a prototype is important? Let's suppose you are not individually designing something. You have to collaborate with your team members, or you want an approval from your project manager. So instead of creating the whole design and then seek for approval from the project manager, it is a better approach to create the storyboard or the prototype. It will save the time. How it will save the time? Instead of creating the whole design, then the project manager asks to change some things. Then it will also cost you a lot of time and effort. So instead, what different designers do, they make designs, prototype or draft of their design. And if some alterations or changes are required, then they made changes in prototype and they revise their prototype again and again until it is approved by the project managers or their other team members or even the stakeholders they are working with. Then we have uh, uh, different approaches of making that prototype. So the first and foremost approach is storyboard. Just like the script that is written in which we have different visual characters, we try to convey our message. Let me explain you with an example. Just like this. This is a storyboard. You can use different tools to create such kind of storyboard like Wireframe or Figma. But if you don't want to, you even can create storyboard with a pen and a paper. Now, if we observe this diagram, we can see that the title of the storyboard is placing the order. Means you have to design an interface for a restaurant application, and you have to create different pages. Means you want to explain the functionality of that application. So you create the storyboard of that. Like the user will tap the application. The first screen shows that how the user will tap the application. The second screen shows that the open the home page menu, means the user after tapping the application icon, the home app menu will be open. After that, there will be a lot of food sections. And fourth, there will be the restaurant menu page, means what kind of menu they are offering us. Then how we can add the order. Then order confirmation page is designed in such a way. And at the end, after going through all these phases, at the last, the parcel is delivered to the customer. This is how storyboards are created. This is a storyboard. Means you have to define visually everything, what will going to happen in your application, how the things will be done, what are the different pages that you are going to include, what are the different functionalities that you want to include in your application and you want to show that. And then we have another application, means how the user will land on the home page. You can see this is how the user will land here. The user navigates to describe the information page, means here the user will add their personal information. Here is the call to action button. Here the user enter the start free trial, like if they want to take a free trial or not. Then how the user interact with different products that that e-commerce application is offering. And at the end, the user will purchases different products. So this is how you can create storyboard to show your ideas to your project managers or your stakeholders just to seek their approval. So we have different kind of tools which we can use to create storyboards. The first one is the wireframe, and I will told you how you can use that because it can be a part of your second task. So I will tell you how you can use wireframe. Okay, let me open that. Now, first of all, what you have to write wireframe on your Google browser. Then after that, you will see that this website will be open, wireframe.cc. Then here, this such kind of interface will be appear in front of you. Now, how we can create a wireframe, a design here. For example, I want to create a simple navigation. In the website, the first thing that is shown on the top is the navigation bar. Here, I will select the area for my navigation. Suppose I want this area to be my navigation. That is selected. Now here, after selecting a certain or a specific area, we have different options. What we want to insert in this area. So let's suppose I want to input some text, but it is a way too wide. So what I'm going to do that is to delete this because we want only a little space to write. Now you might notice that in the navigation, the first thing is the logo, right? The logo is mostly appear at the this corner of your screen. So we will, I said this will be my image. So here is my image and I will replace it with a placeholder like if I want to add some text here. So I can add the text. And these are all the, if I want to fill, then I can also fill. So here can be my, will be my logo. Then after that, I will select this area to add some text here. So if I take this input box, first what I want to add is the menu or products option. We are going to write so in this way you can also write here. So I'm showing you different elements that are available here. Then here in the box, we have also different kind of borders we can add. And if we want to delete something, we can delete it. If we want to write in a specific area, we will just select this area like this. And from here, we will select just because of screen sharing option, the most of the icons are not visible here, but you can select any of them of your choice, like by dragging this, we can write this. If you want to give a headline, then we will click on this headline button. If you want to input some text, we can input some text here. Okay. Then I want to input text here too. So I will create another box here. So in this way, you can create boxes and select something you want to run. Okay. So this is how, if you want to give a border, you can also give a border like this. And if you want to make the border large or medium, so in this way, you can create a design of your choice using this. If you are comfortable with Figma, then you can also go with Figma. But mostly these wireframes are used to write the text. Look, the text can be input like this. You have to click on this text button. Here I will write products. Then after some space, I want about us option. Then after some space, let's delete this first. And up a bit wide like this. And we want a distance between them, we can add. And here can be option of feedback. And you can also add an option of contact us. So let's suppose our navigation is done. Here will be the logo, and then this will be the navigation. Then after that, we have a hero section where we contain some image. And so let's suppose we want to add the text here. And let's remove this. And if we will make it that text bold, bigger, and I will write that your first, let's suppose we are creating an application for a bank. Then what we will write a statement, save transaction. Easy to do. You can add any a heading on your website of your choice. You want to add it, and you can also justify it, whether you want to align it center or justify. Then let's justify the text or align it to the center in this way. Then let's suppose we want to add an image here after this option. So there will be an image. Then after we want to create sections here, then you can also give headings of sections. There can be different options. You can just see, like I want to give headlines, so you can also add headings there. Okay, this is how you can create your storyboard on wireframes. Hope so it is clear. If you share your storyboards or prototypes with others, it will help you to achieve your goals and save your time instead of creating the whole design and then making alternations in that will waste your time. So in order to save your time, the storyboard is the best option. And we have again many tools and the that can be used to create storyboards. So we can use them. Then we have how we can create the story. So first of all, the first step that you might see was to create a blank slide. We create a blank slide and then we add some script there. So we add a heading, what to do and how to do there. And the third was to sketch your story. Means we will add some icons and images that we want to include in our story. So these are the different examples of storyboard. Then the navigation. What is the navigation? Just I showed you. Let me show you a working example design, so that working design for as an example. So you might get the better understanding of how a design, what is navigation, and how it looks like. So let me open one for you. As you can see, this is a design of a restaurant application. So let me explain different sections here. This part is called the navigation. If I click on this how to work, so it will jump to the how to work button. If I click here on this meal, it will jump to the meal option. Then this is for testimonials, means for the reviews of the user. So in this way, we add this. The first thing in the design is the navigation bar that we include. So This bar is the navigation, this part, and this is the logo that we add in the left side. Then after that, the image and the options that are visible to you in the first section, this section is called the heroes section. This one, where we add the main image, this one, and the text, a healthy meal delivered to your door every single day. So this can be the main section that is visible first time whenever the user visits your page. This section is called the hero section. Then afterwards, if we move down, this section is known as the feature in section, means the companies that collaborate with us, we want to add their slogans there, so we feature them here, means where we feature, where our application is featured. So like in New York Times or different newspapers where our application is featured, so we will include them. Then you can also add different sections of your choice, like how the application works. So you can also include different options here. Then for the recipes that you want to show, then these are the different recipes and the menus for the user. And afterwards, we have the testimonials, means the review of the users, means how our user think how the application works for them. Are they feeling good after trying the meal from that restaurant? So there can be a pricing plan, and then we have this button is called this form is called the call to action form. Why it is called so? Because if you sign up, you might notice that on different applications, we have a form that sign up now to get daily updates or get a free meals or get different offers they give us. So that kind of forms are called call to action buttons. Then at the end, we have a footer section in which if we want to add the external links like the contact us, like different accounts, the what is about company and resources. So in this way, at the end, we will include such kind of footers. So this is how our design will look like. First thing for planning is the navigation. So you will define the set of the action and techniques so that you can guide that user. Just as in the example I showed you, how you can guide the user by providing different options or names of the pages. After that, in the navigation, we can also have drop-down menus. What is a drop-down menu? If I click on something, then a menu will appear. So we can also add some drop-down menu there. After that, what we have, this is what a navigation with a drop-down look like. If I click here, a menu will appear with some actions or some options in. So this is a very good example of how a drop-down menu will look like. Then what we can do here is to we can also add a sliding hamburger icon, means the three dots that is mostly appear just like here. You might notice this icon in your Gmail or different application on Android phones, that if you click on these three dots, then a menu will appear. So this is another kind of menu option that is mostly available for mobile menus. Then the screen content, means the content that is appear on your screens is very important. It should align with the goal of your application. This application was for a restaurant. The goal was to sign up the user for the meal. So you can see that the heading and all the content is related to the meal. You should not make a design are making the application for a bank and the content is not relevant to that. Means you can use the images of banks, people working in banks, money, something like that, that can interact the user and give a feel that that application is related to bank. Then after that, what we have here, the task center user interface, means your design should be according to the user. It should be user centered. Means you should allow the design that should be designed according to the user need. For example, here we want the user to sign up for a subscription for their daily meal. So you should know the needs of the user, what the user want from you. The user want a smooth navigation, easy to use, everything should be clear. So in this way, you can create such designs that helps the user to achieve their goal. For example, what is a task means how the work is performed, how the human actions can be contribute for useful good. Just like payment via shopping app, you want to pay, like the goal of the user is to make an online payment. Then user can sign up for that. We have different principles so that we can make our task center user interface. The first one was understanding user goals and needs. So before making your design, your first priority should be that your design should be according to the user needs. Means you have to do a research of what are the current trends of the user, what is the need of the user, what is the need of the today's user, what they want from the IT sector. So after knowing their needs, you can design interfaces for them. Then you can design for efficiency and effectiveness. Means you should design the application or app in such a way that is very efficient and easy to use. You can also take in count the factors like layouts of the interface, what is the information of the organization, just like here Z pattern layout is used. What is a Z pattern? If the content is on the left, then the image will be on the right. Then the second image will be on the left and the content will be on the right. So that is a Z pattern. So you have to think about what kind of interface I want to add. Then after that, you have to add the company's information. Like you can see that the name of the company was Omni Foods. Then the name is mostly used everywhere. What the company delivers us, everything about the company is also mentioned there. Then iterative design process means if you create a user-centered designs, then it might need some evaluations. It might need some alterations day by day on the basis of the feedback. Just like in your Windows or your Android operating system, you get updates on daily basis. Like your system will update within month or 2 months, update is pending. This app needs update, and whenever you update that application, what happens? That interface might a bit change. This is why, because based on the feedback, they try to improve their systems. So this is what user interface design is. Then after that, we have the iterative design process. We have seen this. So this is how we can apply the user, we can plan a user interface based upon the user needs. So if you have any questions, let me know. Go ahead with your questions.
Yes, I want you to go back there.
Yes.
I want you to go back to the example page.
So what is the question?
Scroll it down, scroll down. This area you said, what we call this?
This area?
This, yes.
This area is called the footer section.
Food.
Footer. This section is called the footer section. This is the
Okay.
last section of our website. You might see this section mostly in every website. What is
Yes.
the purpose of this section is to add some external links that are not very important, but still if we want to add them in our application, then we use this section. Just like the copyright, the external links where the people can follow you, the contact information, how the user can create the account. what is the company, about the company, different resources. Means the external information that you want to add, you can include in this section. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay. Any other question? So that was all about today's lecture. Hope so all the previous lectures are clear. All the things I have explained you, including the activity one. Still, if you have any question regarding to all that previous lecture, you can let me know anytime. Okay.
All right.